Ryan Wedding's arrest out of Mexico, brought here to the States to face some charges relating to an alleged drug kingpin, drug ring, and also potential murder charges. So let's get into who Ryan Wedding was. You can see him here on your screen. He was a former Olympic snowboarder. He competed in the Salt Lake Games back in 2002. But after that, it appears he really got into some criminal activity from the start. He was an Olympic athlete for Canada, kind of started in Canada and then made its way to the United States and to Mexico. So here's what we know that led up to his major bombshell arrest as being an FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitive. He was previously convicted in the U.S. of conspiracy to distribute cocaine and sentenced to prison in 2010, but he was released from prison in 2011. Well, he's reportedly been hiding out in Mexico for more than a decade. Then he ended up on the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives list. You have seen that. We covered it on this show. The FBI was very outspoken about that. They had a $15 million reward for his arrest and conviction. Authorities have compared him to the modern-day El Chapo, and he reportedly moved as much as 60 tons of cocaine between Colombia, Mexico, Canada, and Southern California, all working under the protection of the Sinaloa cartel. His ring was the largest supplier of cocaine to Canada, and he faces charges there too that were stemming all the way from 2015. So there are a lot of charges to possibly be facing out of Canada and also the United States. But it's not just for this drug trafficking ring. There's also murder charges that he's facing. So Wedding is accused of directing the 2023 killings of two members of a Canadian family in retaliation for a stolen drug shipment, and for ordering another killing over a drug debt in 2024. But this whole case really expanded recently when Wedding was indicted on new charges of orchestrating a killing of a witness in Colombia that he tried to reportedly kill so that he could avoid extradition here to the United States. So there is a lot of serious charges. They viewed him as very dangerous. The FBI put them on his list for a reason, because of everything that they believed he was capable of. They said he was hiding out in Mexico, and that is where he was arrested. So Mexican officials actually said that last week he turned himself into the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City. But because he appeared in court in the United States in California this week, his attorney spoke to media outside the courthouse and said, that's not how it went down.
He didn't surrender. He was apprehended. He was arrested. And so any spin that the government in Mexico is putting on this, that he surrendered, is inaccurate. And I think if there's anybody in a position to know how his arrest and apprehension went down, it's his counsel. So those reports of what happened, that he surrendered, completely inaccurate.
All right, so that defense attorney also was kind of clearing up some other things as well. There was reporters that asked him, can you talk about the fact that he was hiding out in Mexico? That defense attorney kind of had this quip back that said, well, we have different definitions of hiding out versus living somewhere. Ryan Wedding's due back in court on February 11th. Allegedly, his trial date set for March 24th, but the defense attorney there said unlikely they would go to trial that quickly. I don't know how they would possibly get this case together that fast to be able to go do a federal trial that quickly. So likely going to be pushed back. I would not be surprised if it even starts sometime next year. But more to come on the Ryan Wedding case after his big arrest, a big win, the FBI touting for themselves to be able to check off somebody who was on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list.